As you know, the UK left the EU political structures and the European Parliament on February 31st in 2020. Now, the Brexiteers blame the government for not implementing Brexit properly, and others want the UK to join the EU again. And the EU, of course, moved forward after the UK left. So, in the next week or weeks, I will make a test here on the channel by bringing news about the EU in my midday videos. That will keep the people informed what the UK left in the end and what people want to return to make informed decisions and give it a more fact-based approach. And since my magazine channel is reserved for information on the development of the Russian war of aggression against Ukraine for the time being, that is another reason to do it on this channel. But I anyway believe exactly my audience on this channel needs this information. And of course, there's a new playlist EU here again. The European Commission delivered a legislative proposal that will facilitate access to the right to free movement for persons with disabilities by making sure they can, on an equal basis, access special conditions, preferential treatment and parking rights when visiting another member state. The Commission's proposal introduces a standardized European disability card and enhances the current European parking card for persons with disabilities. Both cards will be recognized throughout the EU. When people's disability status is not recognized abroad, they cannot access the special conditions and preferential treatment, such as free and/or priority access, reduced fees or personal assistance while visiting another member state. To address this issue, the Commission proposes the creation of a standardized European disability card. The European disability card will serve as recognized proof of disability throughout the EU, granting equal access to special conditions and preferential treatment in public and private services, including, for instance, transport, cultural events, museums, leisure and sports centers, or amusement parks. It will be issued by the national competent authorities and complement existing national cards or certificates. For many persons with disabilities, private car transport remains the best or only possibility for travel and getting around independently, ensuring their autonomy. The proposed improvements to the current European parking card will allow persons with disabilities to access the same parking rights available in another member state. It will have a binding common format that will replace national parking cards for persons with disabilities and be recognized throughout the EU. To promote ease of use and reduce administrative burden, the proposed directive will require member states to do a few things. First of all, provide the cards in both physical and digital versions. To make conditions and rules for issuing or withdrawing the cards publicly available in accessible formats. And ensure service providers offer information on special conditions and preferential treatment for persons with disabilities in accessible formats. To guarantee compliance, member states must ensure persons with disabilities, their representative organizations, and relevant public bodies can take action under national law if needed. After adoption of the directive into national law, member states are asked to impose fines and corrective measures in case of violations. The Commission's proposal will now be discussed by the European Parliament and the Council. The proposal foresees that once adopted, member states will have 18 months to incorporate the provisions of the directive into national law. The proposed directive establishing the European Disability Card and the European Parking Card for persons with disabilities was announced in the EU Strategy for the Rights of Persons with Disabilities 2021 to 2030. The proposal contributes the implementation by the EU of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, to which the EU and all member states are party. The UNCRPD, that's what it's called, contains obligations for state parties to recognize the rights of persons with disabilities to liberty of movement and an equal basis with others. States parties are also requested to take effective measures to ensure personal mobility with the greatest possible independence for persons with disabilities, including by facilitating the personal mobility of persons with disabilities in the manner and at the time of their choice and at affordable cost. The proposal also aligns with the principles of equal opportunities and of inclusion of people with disabilities from the European Pillar of Social Rights. This initiative builds on the outcomes of the EU Disability Card pilot project conducted in Belgium, Cyprus, Estonia, Finland, Italy, Malta, Romania, and Slovenia between 2016 and 2018. And in addition, it integrates insights from a recent public consultation which collected over 3,300 replies, of which 78% from persons with disabilities. And if you want to know more about the EU, British politics, or Brexit, the next video is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.